Hi, welcome to an ESP32 tutorial from Robojax. My name is Ahmed Shamshiri. I'm presenting this tutorial from Canada. In this tutorial, we are going to learn how we can control or turn on and off an AC load, such as bulb or fan, or a DC load using ESP32 and a relay over the Wi-Fi, where we can turn it on or turn it off from your computer or tablet, or using your mobile device to turn it on or turn it off. You can get the code for this by clicking at the link below the video in the description, which will take you to robojax.com/learn/Arduino. Let's get started with this. To control an AC load over Wi-Fi, you need to use ESP32. Doesn't matter which module you use. I have also a tutorial on how to use ESP8266, but this is for ESP32, so you can get different type of module. All of these are the same, except the pen and layout and color might be different. But to control an AC load, we needed to use a relay, and the two options that I have were these two 5 volts relay. There is also 3.3 volts version. If you get that, that will be better, but this 5 volts also will work. But for these two types, this will not work because the logic level of this is based on 3.3 volts, and this needs 5 volts trigger to turn off and turn on. But this can be turned on and off even at 1.2 volts or 1 volt. So this is a better option. Make sure to get this one. I'm going to control a load, and for the power of the rating of the load, we have to pay attention to this. For example, this one, it says at 220 or 250, it's 10 ampere, and for 125 is also 10 ampere. So if you're in North America or in Europe, whatever voltage you have, multiply it by 10, or simply put a 0. For example, for 220 volts, it will be 2200 watt or 2.2 kilowatt. In US and Canada, it will be 1.2 kilowatt. If you overload this, there will be a fire hazard. Make sure to avoid it. And also, if you're using DC load, 28 or 36 volts, in any case, it's 10 ampere. Now, this is the relay. If I show you inside it and remove this cover, you will see it that it has a winding and the power will come. And this is a contact where it goes up and down. Let me power it up so you can see it. And here, you see that it contacts at this point and establishes a contact, either disconnect or connect. When it goes up, it connects it this piece to the top, and when it goes down, it connects it to the other piece. So the whole current passes through this small piece of copper here. And if this is overloaded, this will burn and there will be a possibility of fire. So always follow this instruction or the rating that is labeled on the relay. This is 10 ampere, and any voltage as it shows 10, follow the instruction and do not overload it. And also, when you're working with AC, make sure to never touch this once the power is connected, and take a lot of precaution and never put this on a surface that is metallic. And if you're unsure how to proceed, seek help from someone who can help you how to complete this project. For this demonstration, I'm going to use this AC bulb. This is a plug that will be connected to wall outlet, and the light will be turned on. At the middle, at this point, I have disconnected the wire, one of the wire, the live wire here, and I've twisted them and prepared them. These two will be connected to the relay. Job of relay is to turn it on by connecting these two wires, turning on the light, and disconnecting it, turning it off. So this can be a bulb or a fan or any other load. The same way the relay will connect it and disconnect it. So the two wires that I just shown you will be connected to these two pins of relay. Let me now explain the wiring here. This is my battery, power 5 volts. The positive I've connected to this line, where all of these lines are positive, and this is the ground or negative. All of these are negative. And the relay has 3 pins. I have a separate video explaining the relay. Here I'm not going through that. So this pin is the ground, the middle one is the positive, and this is a signal where it receives signal from ESP32. Now blue is the positive, the middle one. I'm connecting it to the positive 5 volts, and then the negative, this side is connected in here. As you can see, this is just excess. I'm just putting it because I can create extra ground, otherwise this was not needed. Here, from my relay, the next pin, the signal pin, is connected to pin 12. I've used this ground and 12, they are side by side, so I will not make mistake. And this pin is ground, and ground will be connected to the ground of my external. I must have a ground between external power and this ESP32, otherwise it will not work. And if you want to power this up from the external 5 volts, once the programming is done, disconnect your USB. So here I'm putting a wire here. On this board it says V5, that's a 5 volts pin. And on this pin I have also 5 volts on this board. So make sure to find those. And for the pins and configuration of this, I have separate video explaining all these pins and voltage. The link will be below in the description, so make sure to watch that video. So I'm connecting this to the 5 volts and connecting on this side to the 5 volts on the breadboard. Now this board is powered up. The relay is also active. In order to start using ESP32 with Arduino IDE, you need to prepare Arduino IDE for that purpose. You will copy and paste it here. You see it says package ESP32 index.json at the end. So once you paste it here, click OK, click OK. This is telling Arduino IDE where to get the board driver. Click on Tools, and then Board Manager. And here, wait for this to complete at the bottom, this bar graph. And then type here ESP32. You see ESP32 by Espressif Systems. It says installed. In your case, it will not be installed. You will have install button here. Click on it, and it will take maybe a few seconds or a minute. And the installation, once is completed, click close. Now we have to tell Arduino IDE which board you're working with, because the driver is ready. Click on Tool, Boards. This is Arduino IDE which you will usually work, but scroll down until you see a line below that. All of these are ESP32, and ESP32 rover module is the one that you click and select, and the dot will appear. Now we have to select the port. For that, we have to find out which port we are using. Right click on the start menu, device manager, and you see port. Click on this arrow to collapse it, and mine is using COM port, Silicon Lab. If I disconnect it now, you will see that it will disappear. Connecting it back. So this is COM6. Note that. Click on Tool, Port, and you will see COM6 is already selected, and now you can write your program and run it. Now let me explain the code. For the code, you have to understand this page first before I'm going to the code. This is an HTML page. I've opened it using Google Chrome. You can also open it with Firefox or Microsoft Edge. In any case, behind this, if I press Ctrl U, you will see that I can read the text that is generating this page. This page is all based on text, and here is the text. This is the title. The title is the one that you read here, and after that, this is a style. All of these values will determine the size of the text, position, color, and other stuff. And here inside the body, we have this header 1, Robojax ESP32 relay, which is this text. And then we have a div or division that starts here and ends here with /, and inside this division, which has a class of button, which have been defined here. Then this line is creating this button, and here is the text, and here is the link, and these are the style that determines the color. This is generated, and when I click this, it changes. Now this is another page that has generated by ESP32. So the page is generated and comes from ESP32 using this code. This code, I've used the code that I've been taken from here. If you click on File, Examples, and then under this, in this area, it says Examples for ESP32 Rover. Scroll down until you see Web Server, and then Advanced Web Server. So Advanced Web Server is this one, but I've modified it significantly. It's not the same page. I've started with that. I've added a lot of stuff. So first, I've defined the relay pin, the pin that is connected to relay. I've used pin 12. You can use any other pin, digital pin, and these are the text: button light on, button title 1, button title 2. This is for light on, light off. These are the text that is coming for this. When you click it, it will change on and off. And then relay start, I put it 1. This is where the relay will start at initial position. These are part of the code that is, I just opened it, and here I put my SSID. Make sure to pay attention to the upper and lower case, because this is case sensitive with ESP32. So if it is capital R, make capital R, and this is the password for my Wi-Fi. This is just for tutorial. I will shut it down after the recording. And this is initializing the server. And also inside the code there was a LED pin 13, the built-in LED that's on the board, which will turn on and off with, when you click on the on this screen. So I did not remove that. And inside the handle, this is where we turn the LED on, but this is where the page is. The whole page is a string, and I called it HTML, and it starts from here and ends here with some variation inside it. So this is the whole page of this, where it prints this text for us. And when the relay state is turned on, we are printing different button with different title, light on title. This HTML is the variable that we have created here, a string, and plus this means concatenate or add this to HTML string variable, and then after that add this. If the relay is different state, not 1, then add this button, which will print different text, turn off light button, and the color will be different between the two. And this is the end of it, and this line is printing the HTML on the screen, and then the LED will turn off. So this doesn't matter, this line, it's just excess. Not handle not found is a function that is taking care of not found when the user requests something. For example, at the moment when I turn on and off a relay, it says in here after the IP address /relay do equal off. So /relay is the most important one. And if I type here, for example, book, I type /book, and it says URI /book was not found, and type of request was get, and there is no argument. And if I have some argument, these are argument B equal 134, it also prints the argument for us. So that's called an argument. So this function, the job of this function is to present those values and tell you if it is not found. Inside the setup, the LED pin is defined. As I said, it's not important, but also it will turn off the LED. This is the one that I'm using pin mode. I'm defining a relay pin as an output, and then immediately I use digital write and changing the status of this relay pin as relay stat, whatever you set 0 or 1, so it will be on or off. Then using serial monitor 115,200, we are initializing the serial monitor. This is the serial monitor. When I click, and if I expand it at the right side lower corner, this is the value 115,200. It must match this number, otherwise you will not be able to see the text, and this is just printing the text on the screen. All of these were part of the code which I have not changed up to here. And this MDNS or multicast DNS Robojax ESP32 is a text. where instead of typing the IP I can type this, and let me copy it and show you. In here right now it's an IP address. If I right click, paste and go, so this is the page, the same page it will bring it. But in some networks it may not work, or the type of device. Make sure to know that the IP is the main one and this multicast DNS is a better option, because you don't have to remember the IP and just type it. And then these lines, this was part of it, handle root, which will handle the main access every time you don't type anything, what it does. And this is the one that I've added, /relay. I've defined it as a type of get, and when this request comes, it goes to this function. Relay control and not handle and begin, these are part of it, so I will explain this later. Inside the loop, server handle client, this is the main one that is handling the request as a web server. And if relay state is true, I could put here equal 1, but that was excess. 1 means automatically true, so we check if relay state is true or it is 1. Then we do the relay low. It should be high, and this should be low. So we are turning the relay on, and if it is 0, we are turning the relay off. And we wait 100 milliseconds. The loop will continuously take the same action. Now this is being changed when the user clicks and it goes to relay control. This is a function, and we check if argument do is equal on, where here if I click this it says do equal off, and if I click it on, it's do equal on. Here if we check it, if the argument that is coming is do equal, these two is for comparison purpose, is equal on, then relay stat variable should be 1, else mean otherwise. If it is anything else, set it to 0. So that's it. We run the handle root. The SSID that our ESP32 is connected, called Robojax. On your computer or laptop, you must make sure that you're connecting to the same Wi-Fi. If it is connected to another Wi-Fi, of course, you will not be able to receive it. So it must be the same network. Right now, this is the same as this Robojax. You see it is connected. To access ESP32, we have to know the IP address. For that, let's open the serial monitor. The monitor is just empty like that. And I have to press this reset button. Once I press it, I will see the screen. So I'm pressing it now. And here it shows IP address 192.168.1.12. As I explained in the code, we can access it via this Robojax ESP32. This is a MDNS or multicast DNS that in some networks it works, and in some places or some computers it will not. The browser is open, and I'm typing the Robojax ESP32 and pressing enter. We got it. But if that doesn't work, we can type the IP address too, and that's the same page. Now let me just test it. This is also already connected. The code is loaded. When I click, it turns on, and also the button changes now to red and it says light off. So when I press, it means I want to turn it off. Press this. So if I want to turn it on, so the button also changes using the code that we have. This text is displaying there. If you want to access it using your mobile device, you must be at the same network. You see this is connected to Robojax, so you have to connect to the same SSID of Wi-Fi that ESP32 is connected. And here I've opened it 192.168.2 and 1, and if I touch it, the light will be turned on, turn off. Perfectly responding. My computer is also connected at the same time, and if I just and as you can see here, the text is now incorrect, but if I do it now, it goes off. Now this is controlling it. Can do the same way. You see when I touch it, it sent the signal to turn it on, which was on. It didn't have any effect, and now I can turn it off. this board is powered up. The relay is also active. Thank you for watching. This was how to control AC bulb or AC load using relay and ESP32. If you learned something and found this useful, please thumb up, as this will help my video in the search algorithm of YouTube. Thank you for watching the tutorial from Robojax. If you like this video and learned something, please thumb up, as this will help my video in the search algorithm of YouTube. If you have comment or question, post it at the comment section below. I try to answer and reply. If you want to get updates of my upcoming videos, make sure to subscribe. This text is now let me just test it. This is also already connected. The code is loaded. When I click, it turns on, and also the button changes now to red and it says light off. So when I press it means I want to turn it off. Press this. So if I want to turn it